Hello there, World of Tankers. Welcome to the channel. Hopefully all of you are doing well out there. I'm, of course, your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, oh, do I have a big and important topic today. This is going to be the patch notes for update 7.4 that will soon be coming to World of Tanks Blitz. Now, this update isn't going to be bringing any new tanks that I'm aware of, but it will be changing a lot of Tier 6, Tier 7, and Tier 8 vehicles, especially the Tank Destroyer class. Now, the first one I wanted to talk about, and the reason why I titled this video, Wargaming, You're Seriously Messing Up or something like that, is because of the Jagdpanzer IV. This is a Tier 6 tank destroyer. In fact, it carries the most DPM, I think, at Tier 6, Tier 7, and as well Tier 8, and it's about the same as some Tier 9 tank destroyers. It's at 3,266 damage per minute. Now, what if I told you Wargaming is planning on buffing this vehicle's gun in not only penetration, not only damage per shot, but also damage per minute? Yes, you'd probably think I'm joking because I'm going to be playing a replay that I played 2 games in the tank, and this was the second game I pulled out for a 2 minute and 58 second battle while I talk about the changes that are being done to the vehicle. So, the Jagdpanzer IV is a pretty mobile tank. It's pretty much like an E25 at Tier 6. It's got actually more DPM than the E25, but a little bit of a longer reload at 4 seconds for 225 damage. Well, first of all, Wargaming is going to be buffing the standard penetration, which I think is around 144 millimeters, all the way up to 175. That means if you're going to run calibrated, it'll go to like 190 millimeters of pen or something like that, 184 actually it might be, which is kind of crazy when you think about it, but of course, you'd probably run gun rammer, judging that I'm running gun rammer on it here, and this is with 3,200 DPM. So the penetration is going up, which, you know, it's not the biggest of change, of course, the penetration, except you look at the premium, and now it's going to 225 pen. So, where this vehicle had a weakness of not really being able to pen a vehicle like the M6 on the enemy team, or it struggles sometimes to penetrate Tier 5, Tier 6, Tier 7 opponents, now it's just easily going to butter through all frontal armor, especially if you load that premium. Not only that, but the standard damage is going up to 250. The premium is going to do 210, so the premium damage on this tank is what the standard was pretty much. Kinda crazy again, when you're starting to realize that this is a Tier 6 tank destroyer dealing 250 average damage, and the reload is not changing. It's going to have 3,711 base damage per minute. Now, we take a quick look into Blitz tanks, right? And we think of what vehicles have in the 3,700 variables. Well, let's go to Tier 10, right? So the Grill, the second most DPM for a Tier 10 tank destroyer in Tier 10, has 3,633 because, of course, I made my video on that earlier today, which is when I was learning about these facts. So pretty much the second most DPM, which is the Grill at 3,600, is not more DPM than a Tier 6 tank destroyer. Wargaming, what are you doing? Please, please do not do this. I'm praying that this was a mistake. I did read that it's possible they could have been meaning to buff the the Nazorn, and maybe given the Nazorn the gun, maybe a little bit more damage, maybe a little more pen, but the Nazorn already has the penetration. It's got 200 for standard, so I honestly think that Wargaming is buffing the Jagdpanzer IV to have 3,700 DPM. I don't even know what they must be smoking to think that this is a good idea, and that's why I wanted to make this video, because this is the basic information we have on the tank, right? We know that it is going to be buffed, at least in the penetration, which I'm fine with, but if they're planning on buffing the average damage to 250, and not only that, but making the DPM 3,700, 3,200 base, yeah, they got some serious problems, because there's no way anybody in their right minds at Wargaming can honestly think that this is going to be a fair and balanced vehicle. You can see here, I've got the side of this M6. Now, if I had that DPM buff, he would be dead right now. He would have been dead about maybe 10 seconds ago, because it's literally another 500 damage per minute. It's kind of stupid how much more DPM they were planning on giving this vehicle. Not only DPM, but penetration and as well damage per shot. It's literally getting one of the biggest buffs I've ever seen in World of Tanks Blitz to a Tier 6 tank destroyer that's already pretty dang good. We got 6 kills this game, 2,600 damage, and as you saw there, I pretty much got the enemy team to have 3 zeros on their battlefield. So yeah, not too good, and I honestly, Wargaming, if you're watching this video, you have to not do this. This will be one of the things I'm going to say I told you so when it comes out, because there's no way they honestly think that it's right to give a Tier 6 vehicle 3,700 DPM. So Oh yeah, that's going to be great. So other changes coming into the game, well, you're going to have vehicles like the Dicker Max. They're going to go up on penetration, not a crazy amount, but 180 on the Dicker, which it used to be 169. The Premium's also going to go up to 250, which it was 227. I think that that's fair. But then we move on to a different vehicle, which I'll get another replay up here on the Jagdpanzer 8.8. Now you can see I played one game in the Jagdpanzer today because I was like, wait, what? Wargaming's planning on buffing this vehicle. So I do think the Jagdpanzer 8.8 definitely struggles. It's not the best of tier 8 tank destroyers. It does have a great gun, it's got decent armor, it's got decent mobility, but people really just struggle to do super well on it. So I personally feel that maybe they should just buff the engine power a little bit because you can see how slow it is on getting in the position, but Wargaming took a little bit of a different approach. They're bringing what the standard damage was at 310, a max roll is 388, and they're giving it 40 more alpha to 350 a shot, because of course this carries a 10.5 millimeter or 10.9 centimeter. So what Wargaming's doing is they're making this pretty much a K91 damage on a tier 8 tank destroyer with a 5.9 second reload. Now wait a sec, yeah, that's pretty dang good. Now what that means is that you're going to rip apart the enemy. Not only that, but the standard pen is going up to 235, and the premium pen, actually the premium pen is not going up, so it's just the standard pen that's going up. But you can see I'm easily getting enough pen to go through like a T-34 turret there, so the penetration's already fine on this vehicle. But yeah, 350 average damage per shot, that is going to be brutal. Now I personally can say I don't think that that's going to break this vehicle. I think that it's good. I think that it will be one of the strongest tier 8 tank destroyers at the game, because currently I'm pretty sure that this vehicle has the most DPM at tier 8 at 3,000. It's around 3,200. It's going to be about, I'd say after they buff it, maybe 3,350 or something like that, so it's still not going to be crazy DPM, not like the Jagdpanzer IV, but I still think it is going to be a very noticeable buff, something that's going to change the vehicle's playstyle a lot. You can see here, it does a great job on just ripping into the enemy. I've been getting out very easy damage in this battle here. This is actually a mastery as well, so I actually think that this is a noticeable buff, something that might cause a lot of people to want to get this vehicle. And honestly, I don't blame Wargaming for buffing this tank, because it wasn't necessarily the most overpowered vehicle in the first place, and it still won't be the most overpowered because it's just such an inflexible vehicle on the battlefield. So some other noticeable changes. Well, we got the SU-122-44. This is going to go from AP pen. Now, it's going to be actually a really deadly tank destroyer. It's going to go from 175 pen, like all D25s, and it's going to go all the way up to 195. That's pretty dang impressive. That means that now you should easily be able to cut through pretty much all tier 8 frontal armor if you are running calibrated, especially since the premium as well is going to go up to 237. That is impressive when you think about it. And as well, it's going to be shooting heat as its premium rounds, and APCR is its standard now. So I'm not sure if that's going to happen as well for the ISU 122S and maybe the IS, because of course the IS also carries the same type of gun that the others carry, the 122. So we're going to find out if that's only for the, if it does go for the IS, that's going to be a fantastic buff. I don't think it needs it, but if Wargaming does do that, oh, it's going to change the tank destroyer class. This buff is going to be happening though to the SU-152. So again, I'm not really sure how this is going to balance out. We're going to have to see, but I think that that's not going to be a biggest change either, because of course penetration, you just hit your shots, you don't really with the tank destroyers. You need to load premium sometimes, but it will be able to penetrate now, maybe like a Tiger II frontally, so it will help you out on dealing with enemy vehicles like the one right in front of us. Now, the last one is the AT-15A. This is the tier 7 heavily armored British tank destroyer that not a lot of people want, only goes 20 kilometers per hour. Well, they're going to be buffing the standard damage to 200. That is crazy when you think about it. That means that this vehicle, or that vehicle is going to have around 3,200 DPM. Now, it's not going to be a great tank in still, my opinion, because it's, of course, a very immobile tier 7 tank destroyer that not really a lot of people are going to care about. So I don't think that buff is going to be too major, but still, it's kind of crazy, all these buffs that are happening. Now, a lot of other vehicles are going to be changed as well. There's going to be tanks like the Nazorn's probably going to be changed. You're going to have Hellcat. You're going to have the Jackson. There's going to be a lot of tier 6 and tier 7 changes. I think the T25AT is going to have a buff to it. Not sure why, because that tank's already fantastic. But there's going to be a lot of different changes, and I'll make sure to keep you guys updated on what's happening into the future. But if you enjoyed today's video and you want to see more like it, please make sure to smash that subscribe button down below. I love to get out content like this, especially content that opens your eyes on what's going to be happening in the next updates, especially this kind of crazy stuff. So if you enjoyed today's video and you want to see more like it, please make sure to smash that subscribe button down below. But other than that, hopefully all of you are doing well out there. Stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll be seeing you in the next one.